114s, 115s,
Oh, you can say this.
118s. Maybe it was a bit ambitious. Hello YouTubers, welcome to another episode. We're here at Caversham on this lovely day, as is tradition, on 2K day, to get inside and do a 2K. But before we do that, we get a little bit of a pre-paddle on the erg to help wake the body up prior to getting the warm-up in to wake the body up for the 2K. So the idea with the pre-paddle for the warm-up prior to the warm-up is just to get the body awake a little bit more than you would do if you didn't do anything. So been an hour and a half since I woke up. It's now about 9 o'clock, and then we're going to have, once I finish this, 2.5 hours or so, maybe a little bit more between the pre-paddle and the 2K itself. So in this pre-paddle, I don't have to worry about overdoing things per se. This is just about getting a little bit sweaty, getting the heart rate up, so that when even the warm-up comes up and the 2K itself comes up, it's not a case of oh, this is a surprise. So you want to kind of get your body ready and then just build up throughout the day, or at least that's how I've come to feel like the pre-paddle works for me. There's obviously probably a little bit of science behind it, but that's just the real basics about it. Some people don't like the pre-paddle. Sometimes it depends when your race is and you need to require to do a pre-paddle really, really early, so it might be better not to do it and get sleep, but that's not for today. Today, plenty of time, and in the pre-paddle I'll just be doing 10 to 20 minutes nice easy paddling with around about a minute of hard pace in there as well. Like I said, seeing the pace, feeling the pace, so that when we get to the actual 2K, it's not a surprise. Oh, that stung a little bit, so that was just 35, 36 strokes to a minute at rough pace, and heart rate was pretty high for what I would have thought a minute would be, and this is generally the feeling you get during a pre-paddle, because it's usually the morning, usually first thing you're doing, a little bit of high intensity, a little bit of movement. Your body's like, what's happening? So that's partly why the pre-paddle can help you out. One, gives you that, okay, my body has to get woken up a bit more. And two, so just at a pace, felt reasonable at 130, ended up doing most of it for 128s. And so it's just probably overcooked it for that. I wanted to do sort of that first, so that mid-pace-ish, and so probably a little bit of overcooking on that. So a good reminder for actual 2K as well. So final bit of pace work, if you will. Not going to do anything fitness-wise or anything, but a little bit physically, a little bit mentally, just to dial in, okay, really make sure that when I do go off of the start, I get my hard strokes off, and then finish after that first 10, get into a solid, probably 128s would be too much. So I'll probably flick between, I would rather see 30s and flick between 29s and 30s rather than 28s and flick between 29s and 28s. For me, I can always is wrong. For me and my physiology, generally, if I pace it, if a negative split, I can have a much bigger sort of drive down towards the end. For some, and this is where it also varies, your 2K can vary everywhere. You can sort of even split, so hold the same split every single 500 meters, same speed. You can positive split, seen some of the really big hitters do a really quick first 500, sort of low 120s, and then slow down and then speed up again. For me, I've found that having that first K quite high and then building down once we get through the K helps with confidence, ties in with my physiology, and helps me get the best score that I can do. But you might be super different, and it's always good to try out the different methods to see what works best for you, as always. But for now, we'll just get a little bit more movement in, nice and easy paddling. Then we go up to get some food, because remember, food is fuel. And we'll have a little bit of a chat about the food itself when we get upstairs. So just got a light breakfast this morning, a couple of bagels, bacon and egg prior to the 2K. For me, we've got just over 2 hours till the 2K, so this should in theory settle well enough and maybe just make sure that I'm feeling not hungry but not full of food by the time I actually get to the 2K. The food itself really varies for everyone. Some people really have to eat a lot earlier, so closer to 4 hours, maybe 3 hours before, and then obviously the actual food itself can change drastically depending on how you react to different foods. So I'm okay with this. It's salty but not too strong of flavors. Other people can have a curry before and be fine. Other people really have to go bland and just sort of non-flavored chicken and rice kind of thing. But again, same thing as the pre-paddle, same thing as the sort of everything prior to a 2K. Pacing for a 2K is figuring out what works best for you and testing it and training so that when you do get to a test day, or even when you do get to a day where, yes, it is the test distance, it is it might not be the last one of the year. You don't want to try things that are new on a big test day. So today, yes, it is a 2K test day, but it's not the be-all and end-all for us, especially, like I said in the previous episode, with being in the Beach Sprints program. This is more of a check-in for where we are. We know what we can do for a 2K, and we can gauge that off of our previous attempts and off of sort of what we would expect for us. And then we can move on through the year to different training. But again, that's a future YAM Squad to look forward to. For now, we eat this food and then probably see you on erg for the warm-up. And then, of course, it's 2K time. Time to warm up. Because I got onto 130. Let's see. Let's have a look at the screen. 140, 114s, 115s.
Oh, you can say
1:18. Maybe it was a bit ambitious for the first 100.
Unfortunately, the audio cut out just as I was getting into a good sort of stream of thought, talking to you guys really well post 2K. So now we're going to try again. So really interesting 2K, 5:55.8. So the score itself, pretty good. Not the slowest I've been, not the fastest I've been, but pretty positive for ticking the box. It's been a while since I've done a 2K in full anger. The one in November, if you guys remember, was a little bit slower than I could have went in preparation for the water piece the next day. So this one was that flat out effort, which has been a while since I have actually done that. Post 2K, feeling wise, pretty positive with it. But then as I thought about it and assessed, you've probably seen the splits on the screen, and I have sort of the ErgData app recording the screen so I can see what I did throughout the piece. I probably ended up being a little bit too ambitious on that first 200 or so, 150, first 30 seconds. I took a first hard 5 or 10 strokes, which is sort of allowed, if you like, a classic way of starting the 2K. But then just that next 10, 15 strokes, usually I want to kind of coast up, let the average come up, but didn't quite let the average come up quick enough, I think. Went through the first 400, 500, maybe a split or two faster than I ideally wanted to, which ended up putting me in a place in the middle K where either, one of two reasons here, that, yeah, I've overcooked myself just marginally, so didn't quite have that confidence or step in that last 800, 700 or so, where I would normally see 777 knock down the split. I did try to knock it down, knocked it down for a couple of 100 meters, and then just couldn't quite have it till the last 100. Or it's just basically where I am just now. Maybe just a sign of the training I've been doing that has been good for shorter than 2K distances, which makes sense. Been doing 90 seconds, 1 minutes, 500, 750s, and nothing too much longer than that, which would be better pointed towards sort of shorter distances and the beach sprints format that we're working towards, that the 1Ks, that roughly 3-minute effort. So it's one of the two, or a bit of combination of both, but either way, decent 2K, decent learning experience, just slightly frustrating because yes, I do have a lot of experience, but it has been a while since I've done a flat out 2K, and considering the prep that I've been doing, I've been seeing 123s, 4s, 5s, and then when I see that off the first maybe 100 meters or so, I'm thinking, well, I've seen this for minutes at a time before, won't be too bad. I really wanted to have that last 500 meters today and really kind of send it and kick on, but alas, it was not there today. And even if I really probably had maybe paced it better, if I actually didn't pace it well today, the overall score wouldn't have, one, been much faster, maybe in a second faster, and two, wouldn't really make a difference in the overall sort of steps going forward. The idea with today's 2K was to start off or finish off winter training and start off put a line in the sand of, okay, we've done 2Ks before, we know what that score or what that means for us, for me as an individual, and then going forward, we're going into probably shorter distances and into the things that are more applicable per se to the beach sprints format. And because it is shorter, we're probably looking at shorter distances on the erg. So pretty positive, enjoyed it, and this week has been really good. I've really enjoyed this week here at Caversham. Like I said in the previous episode, it is really different here at Caversham. There's a different vibe, loads of different people. It's been, I think Graham Thomas is I think is the only person that's here since I was here training last time, which it's great to see him here. He's got a wealth of knowledge to feed off of. He's seen a lot of stuff, good to chat to. And then I think having him there as a sort of, not a base, but I'm struggling to find another word. And then all the other guys, because they're a little bit fresher, a little bit newer, it kind of makes, I don't know, it's a weird feeling. It's quite a positive atmosphere to be part of. And it kind of reminds me of the excitement and the the atmosphere that I was part of back when I started the videos. It was new, it was fresh, and it felt like it was okay. It's for me anyway. In my head, it's like, oh, I can make this video. Maybe I can chat to somebody. There's no oh, I've done this before, or oh, I'm just doing this for the sake of doing it, which I've spoken about before in the videos. Right now, it feels like with the being now on the World Class program again, and having more of a direction, having more of a direction of where we're going, especially in the short term for training for the Beach Sprints program, the races coming up, the camps coming up. I have an idea of what I'm doing, and that's really exciting. Having a little bit of extra purpose can just make everything that little bit easier and gives you a little bit of more, okay, what I'm doing makes a bit more sense. Or at least say on a hard session, this is why I'm doing this hard session. It gives you a bit more reason for your why, if that makes sense. So really excited to, again, take the YAM Squad along with me on the journey of things coming up. We're not training at Caversham every day, week in, week out. We do have camps that we're going to. We are doing a decentralized approach, which I will be talking about in another episode, so we're not here every day. And so the next episode, not sure what that's going to be, whether it's talking about the details or perhaps it's going to be on camp, which will be the first official Beach Sprints camp on the World Class program. And so I'll show the differences, what like a Beach Sprints camp looks like versus a flatwater camp might look like. But that's for future YAM Squad to look forward to. And again, even just having that sort of things are happening, and for me video-wise, and sort of mentally and like wise, it's like, okay, I've got this coming up in a few weeks, I've got this coming up in a few months. It's things to continuously look forward to. So hopefully you guys will look forward to it with me. And again, once things do become more concrete, I can kind of talk about it a bit more and let you guys know maybe what's happening. But that will be it for today's episode of YAM Squad. Make sure you subscribe so that when things do become more concrete, I can let you know about it. And hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. If there's things that you think I could do differently, let me know in the comments below. A couple of things I probably did differently in this video. It was that vlog experience. Tried to talk a little bit more to the camera, so let me know what you thought of that. I know the sort of YouTube algorithm landscape's changing a little bit, more beneficial to have long form content, so I'm cutting less out the videos in this one. I cut out me throwing up. I know I've had a lot of people that don't really like that, but also it is part of my journey, so let me know if you'd rather have that in, or maybe it's just a different angle perhaps, sort of maybe less in your face about that. So yes, I actually did throw up post 2K, but took the footage, or didn't film that footage for the YAM Squad. Maybe that's for a Patreon or an OnlyFans YAM Squad exclusive. But as I've already said, really excited to take the YAM Squad along with me on the journey, wherever that may lead to, all the twists and turns, ups and downs that will inevitably happen. And I'll see you in the next episode.